changing? What if the most important skill isn't actually learning something new, but unlearning something old? Today, we're digging into Adam Grant's Think Again, and we're going to explore this wild idea that the smartest people can often make the absolute biggest mistakes. So let's kick things off with a story where rethinking wasn't just a good idea, it was literally the only way to survive.
Our story starts on a mountainside, deep in Montana, with a team of elite firefighters who are up against a decision you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. This is one of those moments where sticking with your training, with everything you think you know, is a one-way ticket to disaster.
Okay, I want you to just imagine this for a second. You're trapped. There's a massive wall of fire swallowing everything, and it's moving way faster than you can possibly run. What do you do? I mean, what can you do? This isn't just some hypothetical question. It was the terrifying reality for this team.
So, picture it, Man Gulch, Montana. It's a blistering hot afternoon in August of 1949. A crew of 15 smoke jumpers, we're talking the best of the best, they land to handle what looks like a totally routine forest fire. The plan? Super simple. Dig a line, control the burn, and probably be home for dinner.
But then, in a heartbeat, everything changes. The fire literally jumps across this huge ravine and starts roaring right towards them. We're talking a 30-foot wall of flame moving so fast it could cover 2 football fields in less than a minute. The mission just went from firefighting to a flat-out race for their lives.
So they're all scrambling up this super steep hill, and their foreman, a guy named Wagner Dodge, does something that seems absolutely insane. He stops, pulls out a matchbook, and starts lighting the dry grass right in front of them. This quote, man, it just says it all. The crew is in total shock. They thought he'd completely lost his mind.
But Dodge hadn't gone mad. He was doing something incredible. He was thinking again. He completely invented a strategy right there on the spot, an escape fire. See, by burning the fuel ahead of him, he created this little island of safety. He lay down in the fresh ashes, and as that main inferno just blazed right over him, he survived.
12 of his men didn't make it. They just couldn't wrap their heads around his strategy. They couldn't rethink that basic instinct to run away from a fire, not towards one. They died because they were trapped by what they thought they knew.
Now, Dodge's escape fire was an act of pure genius, but there was another, much simpler chance to rethink things that day, and it was missed. And this, right here, gets to the absolute core of what we're talking about today. The mental tools we all carry around, and why letting go of them is so incredibly difficult.
Right before his brilliant move with the escape fire, Dodge gave a really simple command. Drop your tools. Think about it. They're running for their lives, uphill, weighed down by axes, shovels, heavy packs. It seems like a no-brainer, right? Drop the stuff that's slowing you down.
But get this, only one guy actually did it. And years later, in a tragically similar fire, investigators did the math. They figured out that if the firefighters had just dropped their gear, they would have moved 15 to 20% faster. Most of them would have outrun the fire. They would have lived.
So why? Why didn't they do it? This quote gets right to the heart of it. For a firefighter, their tools are part of their identity. Dropping them isn't just about ditching some equipment. It feels like admitting you failed. It's this deep existential crisis where you have to rethink your whole purpose in that single moment.
And this is exactly where the story stops being about firefighters and starts being about all of us. Because we all carry our own mental tools, right? Our assumptions, our instincts, our everyday habits. And just like those firefighters, we cling to them, even when they're the very things weighing us down.
I mean, really think about it. It's the squeaky brakes you keep ignoring, hoping they'll just fix themselves. It's that stock you're sure will just keep going up and up. It's assuming your marriage is fine even when you feel distant, or feeling totally secure in your job while the company is announcing layoffs. These are all times our mental tools, our assumptions, are blinding us to some very real danger.
So, to really understand why we get so stuck in these patterns, Adam Grant gives us this fantastic framework. He says that whenever our beliefs get challenged, we tend to slip into one of 3 default mindsets. Let's break them down.
First up, we go into preacher mode. The second, our sacred beliefs feel threatened, we hop up on our soapbox and start delivering a sermon to defend them. We're not looking for a debate. We're just trying to protect our truth.
Next, there's the prosecutor. In this mode, we're on the attack. We find a little flaw in someone else's argument, and we gather all our evidence to prove them wrong and win the case. It's all about poking holes in the other side.
And then you've got the politician. When we're in politician mode, we're not really looking for the truth, we're looking for approval.
We're basically campaigning, saying whatever we think will win over our audience, whether it's actually accurate or not.
But there's a fourth mode, and it's by far the most powerful, the scientist. You see, a scientist doesn't start out with answers, they start with questions. They treat their own beliefs like a hypothesis that needs to be tested, and they are totally willing, sometimes even excited, to be proven wrong if it means getting closer to the truth.
The thing is, we're jumping between these modes all day, every day. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize it. The real danger is getting stuck in those first three, getting so busy preaching that we're right, prosecuting others for being wrong, and politicking for approval that we never, ever stop to rethink our own views.
And here is the absolute kicker. Being smart doesn't protect you from this. Nope. In fact, sometimes it can make it even worse. Let's take a look at the story of BlackBerry, a company that flew incredibly high and then crashed so hard, all because its brilliant leader got trapped by his own success.
Just look at these numbers. They're wild. In 2009, BlackBerry was the undisputed king. They had almost half the entire US smartphone market. Fast forward just 5 years, their market share was less than 1%. It was practically gone. How does a company that big collapse so fast?
Well, the answer really lies with its founder, Mike Lazaridis. This guy was a total prodigy. He built BlackBerry by thinking like a scientist. But once the company got huge, he stopped questioning his own assumptions. He became a preacher for the physical keyboard and a prosecutor against the idea of putting a real internet browser on a phone.
He preached that a proper browser would drain the battery and crash the network. He preached that smartphones were for serious work, not for fun. He prosecuted the idea of opening up BlackBerry Messenger to other phones, totally missing the $19 billion opportunity that WhatsApp became. He was so busy defending his old ideas that he couldn't see the future staring him in the face.
So the big question is, how do we avoid falling into the BlackBerry trap? How do we make sure we stay in that productive scientist mode? Well, it all starts with embracing what's called a virtuous cycle of rethinking.
Check this out. On the left, you see the overconfidence cycle. This is where BlackBerry got stuck. It starts with pride in what you already know. That leads to conviction that you're right, which makes you look for information that just confirms your beliefs. And that gives you a feeling of validation. But on the right, that's the goal, the rethinking cycle. It starts with humility, admitting you don't have all the answers. That leads to doubt, which sparks your curiosity to find the truth, which ultimately leads to new discoveries.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Just like those firefighters in Montana, we all carry around this heavy pack of mental tools, our assumptions, our opinions, our habits. The real challenge in this crazy, changing world is to constantly ask ourselves, which of these tools are still helping me climb and which ones have just become dead weight, holding me back while the fire races up the hill behind me?
Please do subscribe.